Spurs have just announced that we have appointed Scott Munn as Chief Football Officer, and he will be in charge of all footballing departments. The Spurs under-21s drew 1-1 at Colchester against Wolves on Friday, and a very busy weekend of Premier League football coming up. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Let's start by talking about the weekend's fixtures in the Premier League. On Saturday, 8 games will take place. Manchester United against Everton is the early kick-off. Aston Villa will take on Nottingham Forest. Brentford against Newcastle. Fulham will take on West Ham. Leicester against Bournemouth. Tottenham Hotspur, of course, take on Brighton at 3 p.m. kick-off. Wolves will take on Chelsea, and Southampton will take on champions Manchester City. On Sunday, 2 games will take place. Leeds United against Crystal Palace, and Liverpool will take on league leaders Arsenal. Now, team news for Spurs going into the Brighton game on Saturday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur forward Richarlison is not expected to return from a muscle injury until next weekend. Lucas Moura begins a 3-match ban, whilst Bentancur, Basuma, Davis, Emerson Royale and Ryan Sessegnon are all still out. Tottenham Hotspur boss Christian Stellini has come out and said we're playing 2 games in a week at our stadium. The energy has to be at a maximum high level. We have to be strong. We're training well, we are prepared and we have confidence. This game is really important for us because it comes after 2 drawn matches we could win. Stellini then went on to say since Christmas the stats of Brighton are first in the league for chances created from open play, for passes attempted and for shots on target. So offensively they are a great team. They're well prepared, so when you start to press them, they find a way to overcome your pressure. They are well positioned. They plan a match in the right way. They have many solutions, so they can adapt when you change something. It is a team that is very good with the ball. On Friday afternoon, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club put out the following statement. We are delighted to announce the appointment of Scott Munn as Chief Football Officer. Scott will be joining the club's board and will take charge of all footballing departments. As referenced in the chairman's statement, there has been an ongoing review over the past 6 months of all of our footballing activities. Changes have been made and further improvements continue to ensure future progress and competitiveness. Scott Munn, former City Football Group executive, has extensive experience within sporting organisations, having started his career with the Sydney Organising Committee for the 2000 Olympic Games and then transitioning into National Rugby League before joining the Australia Football League. Scott joined Melbourne City FC as Chief Executive Officer in 2010, and in 2019 he was appointed Chief Executive Officer of City Football Group China. Tottenham Hotspur chairman Daniel Levy came out and said Scott has a unique and broad experience of running sporting organisations at the highest level and will take responsibility for the leadership and management of our football activities to instil best practice both on and off the pitch. The Spurs under-21s drew 1-1 on Friday afternoon against Wolves. The game was played at Colchester in Premier League 2. Striker Jamie Donnelly's thunderous strike was cancelled out by Wolves' Ty Barnett 6 minutes from time as our under-21s were forced to share the spoils in a key battle in the lower reaches of the Premier League 2 table. Spurs under-21 coach Wayne Burnett came out and said the first half was completely unlike us. We didn't play with any energy, which was very disappointing. We were slightly better in the second half, but I don't think we did enough to win the game, and I've expressed that to the players. I don't think we threatened their goal enough. We didn't show the characteristics that we've shown in previous games. We didn't play with any energy, didn't play with enthusiasm, which we have done. So overall, it was a game with very little quality. We managed to score a goal, but it's disappointing that we conceded so quickly afterwards. Wayne Burnett then went on to say, with this game being held at Colchester, we've had a lot of people who have come in from the local area who are Tottenham Hotspur supporters, so we're disappointed that we couldn't give a better account of ourselves. So Jamie Donnelly put Spurs 1-0 up after 78 minutes. Barnett then equalised for Wolves after 84 minutes. The game was played at the JobServe Community Stadium, Colchester, in front of 911 fans. So my thoughts on these stories in this episode. Let's start by talking about the Brighton game on Saturday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, back in Premier League action. I've got to say, the last couple of games, the Southampton away game, the Everton away game, they have been poor. 2 draws in our last 2 games. Of course, one with Antonio Conte, one without Antonio Conte. That last 20 minutes at Goodison Park against Everton, simply not good enough. All of us Spurs fans deserve so much better, and if we want any chance whatsoever of getting Champions League football, which I'll be honest, I feel that Champions League football is going to be very, very hard for us to get next season. Antonio Conte said earlier on in the season it'd be a miracle if Spurs finish in the top 4, and I think I'm going to agree with him. But, you know, for the futures of people like Harry Kane, you know, he wants to be playing the best competition possible, i.e. the Champions League. So we've got to win. We've got to win. We've got to put on a performance. We've got to grind a result out. And Spurs need to have the 3 points Saturday afternoon. That is an absolute must. Nothing less. Now, on Friday afternoon, when I was at Colchester watching the Spurs under-21s taking on Wolves under-21s, that was a pretty dull game, by the way, and Wayne Burnett was exactly right in his comments after the match. Now, the announcement came out. Scott Munn, as Chief Football Officer, he will be in charge of all footballing departments. Now, if Fabio Prasci does end up coming back to the club, who is in charge of the main things? The transfers. Choosing the next manager to manage Tottenham Hotspur Football Club in the summer and, of course, for next season and beyond. Who is in charge of what? That is what I would like to know. I think there are a lot of unanswered questions. The club seem to have the habit of putting out these statements. They're very, very short statements, and they don't really tell you anything. They tell you that someone has joined the football club and this is their title, but it doesn't actually say what they are going to do, what they are responsible for. It'd be interesting because we've now got a Chief Football Officer in Scott Munn. We've got a Managing Director of Football, or Managing Director at the football club, Fabio Prasci, who is currently not allowed to work. And of course, we've got Daniel Levy as the chairman. So who is making the decisions? Who is going to be choosing the next manager? That is what I want the answer to. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy your weekend. Come on, you Spurs.